ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Power Vacuum. I'm your host, Belmont. And it seems we have another win for the modder community. Saw this from PC Gamer earlier today. Superstar modders have decompiled Mario Party 4, meaning native PC ports for GameCube games may one day be a reality, ending friendships for a modern hardware generation. It's a weird subtitle. As the world looks ahead to the fast approaching June 5th release date for the Switch 2, I can't help but look back. Beyond my Animal Crossing Switch and my Animal Crossing 3DS XL, I perhaps spend too much time still considering Nintendo's fetching purple lunchbox. Yes, it's true. I'm one of those weary GameCube fans, wistfully sighing through. Yeah, wistfully sighing through every direct, hoping against hope for another Skies of Arcadia re-release. Well, modders may well do what Nintendo don't. Nintendo don't. Oh God. All right. It's only painful because I think I've used that joke in the past. It's just kind of available in a cheesy kind of way. All right, done groaning. Oh, yeah, yeah. Here's the scoop. Modders have almost fully decompiled Mario Party 4. Almost. It says right here they have. We got some contradictory statements here, making it the first GameCube title to get a damn near complete decompilation. The unofficial, definitely not Nintendo sanctioned effort took about 18 months, making a fan made native PC port a real possibility down the line. To be clear, this isn't emulation, which is a process that essentially tricks software into running on incompatible hardware. Slightly more complicated than that, but I guess that's the Star Trek-ification to make it a Star Trek style explanation. Decompilation is blah, blah. Decompilation in this context is a much more involved reverse engineering of the game's source code and only the first step towards something playable on PC. Still, decompilation offers easier access to games codes, which in turn allows for much more flexibility in how you'd like to retro console games to run on modern PC hardware. For instance, some ambitious modder may take it upon themselves to handcraft a native online mode for more than 21-year-old game. We've already seen similar decompilations from Nintendo 64 games such as Banjo-Kazooie and Paper Mario, but this Mario Party 4 project has proven a unique beast for more reasons than just its purple home platform. As YouTuber Matt KC Bytes tells it, Modder Ranches has originally begun decompiling the first Mario Party, which debuted on Nintendo 64 back in 1998. Fuck, I'm old. 1998? The game will be 30 years old in 3 years. Oh, jeez. But this project soon hit a roadblock that would take a great deal of time and effort to clear. Turning their attention to the 2002 GameCube follow up proved to be a much straighter shot, especially as it turns out the code for Mario Party 4 was originally compiled without optimization, exposing much more of its source code to a sufficiently motivated modder. Did they really not optimize early GameCube games? Anybody want to decompile Tales of Symphonia? Just asking for a friend, myself. Asking for myself. It's been a minute since I turned the gray goop I call a brain to coding, but compiler optimization can be understood as a sort of efficient shorthand. So rather than lengthy strings of code full of tags us bacon brain humans need to hold onto for readability, a compiler will excise these in favor of just feeding the most essential bits of code to the CPU needs to run the game. As a tech journalist, I like to think of it as a compiler making judicious use of square bracketed ellipses as it gives the CPU the real tea. Anyway, scalding smiles aside, there are a few reasons why the development team at Hudson Soft may have opted out of compiler optimization for Mario Party 4. For instance, humans remain pretty essential to debugging and QA, and cursed machine code is hard to pick apart when you're trying to figure out why your game keeps crashing. Debugging symbols are just one signpost developers can use to find the bit of the code that's causing the issue, effectively presenting an index that joins the dots between parts of the compiling executable and the game's source code. Another Hudson Soft title, Hudson Selection Volume 4 Adventure Island, is powered by effectively the same engine as Mario Party 4. So when modders dug into the debug symbols in the latter title, it exposed even more of the former source code. Granted, even that still left modders with a lot of noodling left to do over how various chunks of the code might have been written, but they weren't staring down an empty dialog box anymore. At present, the decompilation project isn't 100% complete, but it's darn close. With apparently less than 0.2% to go, all that's left to elucidate are a few complex functions that aren't necessarily essential to actually playing the game. As Fans Project goes, few things get quite as nerdy or as fascinating as reverse engineering the source code of a decidedly mid party game. Is it decidedly mid? And I low key hope Big Daddy Ed never catches word of it. Nintendo tends to take firm legal action against folks emulating and modding their hardware. The company would also like to prefer we all forget about the time the official Nintendo Museum allegedly emulated SNES games on a Windows PC. Game decompilation projects like this have largely escaped the company's direct legal ire, but Nintendo Classics recently announced expansion into GameCube games may mean they're far from safe. Is that true? Expansion into GameCube games? Nintendo GameCube's hitting the classics list. All right. Well, I mean, it only took them 20 years to do it, but I guess they're going to start putting GameCube games out. I don't know why they haven't earlier. Nintendo is so weird for a company that hates people digging into their stuff and doing their own thing. They just are very hesitant to release their games on their their own alternate platforms like the Switch or the Switch, just the Switch at this point. 3DS is dead. The Switch is their console and their handheld all in one. But I don't know why they don't want to release like GameCube games or so many of their Nintendo 64 games. Now I understand Nintendo 64 might be a rights issue because, Rare and all that stuff, but seriously, just start releasing your games. Every game you own, you should be able to update and release or like they said, make your own emulators that trick your own console into playing the game. Because why not, Nintendo? Give the people what they want, and the people want all their Nintendo games accessible through digital platforms. But yeah, if the modders can actually achieve this, this is a misleading headline because apparently they haven't decompiled it. They are in the process, almost fully decompiled. It's a game changer, especially if they can move on to the next step and start finding other uh, games to decompile. Tales of Symphonia, but yeah, it's a big step, especially that it's just Mario Party 4 right now, and that one specific, I think Hudson Software is what they said. I just read it. I should remember this. Do 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 Hudson Soft titles. They That's just one step closer to them figuring out like the actual GameCube source code, and then once they can get that, they can probably decompile almost any game, or they can at least emulate or mod every single game. But should be very interesting if you see Mario Party 4 PC mod or a PC port coming out soon, you'll know what happened. But that's all I have for this story. This is your host Belmont, signing out.